First, I want to welcome everybody that's in the sound of my voice, and thank you for being here as we welcome the MTA and City of Baltimore in this initiative. On behalf of President Maria Thompson, it's my pleasure to welcome each and every one of you to Coppin State University. I'm Beverly Downing. I am the interim provost and vice president for academic affairs here at Coppin State University. I want to thank the Maryland Transit Authority and the City of Baltimore for their leadership on this important project to bring well-deserved attention to and resources to the renaissance of our Baltimore, one of Baltimore's most vital areas. Coppin State University is honored to be a valued member of this community. As many of you know, Coppin was founded in 1900 to prepare African American elementary school teachers. The institution has grown to over 3,000 students, and we house 53 undergraduate and 9 graduate programs here at the university. During this period of tremendous growth and transformation, we have remained steadfast in fulfilling our mission to empower students and to promote community revitalization by serving the needs and aspirations of West Baltimore. Coppin State University is committed to West Baltimore and the West Baltimore community, and we are very proud to support the Maryland Transit Authority administration and the City of Baltimore in this effort to revitalize North Avenue. We recognize the unique role of North Avenue and the role that it plays as a transportation corridor in Baltimore, and the importance of investing in infrastructure to support transit, walking, and bicycling as part of the overall economic revitalization of the strategy. We believe that North Avenue Rising and the North Avenue Rising project will coherently improve transportation and economic opportunity for our students, our staff, visitors, and the broader community. Over the last 10 years, Coppin State University has made significant investment in construction projects in the North Avenue corridor, and we plan to continue to make capital investments in this corridor over the next 5 years. As we do so, we look forward to continuing our partnership with MTA and the City of Baltimore to help build a more vibrant and renewed North Avenue corridor. Thank you again for the vision of this endeavor, and welcome to the home of Coppin State University. At this time, I would like to present to you Mr. Paul Comfort, who is the CEO of MTA. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Dr. Downing. What a great day to be here. Huh? It's always either burning hot or freezing cold when we do these events, but we're happy to be here. It's a wonderful day, and thank you to Coppin State University for hosting us on this important day. I'd like to first introduce some of our distinguished guests who have joined us today. I'd like to start with Blair Anderson, Undersecretary for Policy for the U.S. Department of Transportation. You want to stand up? Let everybody see you. And we're also very excited to have a representative from the White House, Nathaniel Lowenthal, who's Senior Policy Advisor to the President's National Economic Council, and he's also kind of the lead guy for Baltimore City for the whole White House. So stand up, let everybody see you. And he's a Baltimore guy, so it's great to have him here. Congressman Elijah Cummings, thank you so much, sir, for being here. Perfect timing. He knows how to make an entrance. Maryland Secretary of Transportation and my boss, Pete Ron. Thank you, Pete, for being here. And, of course, our lovely mayor, Mayor Stephanie Rawlings-Blake, is here with us as well. Thank you so much, madam, for being here. And I also saw my good buddy Carl Stokes come in, City Councilman. Thank you, Carl, for being here, buddy. This is a great day for Baltimore and a great day for transit and this North Avenue corridor. It's an exciting time at the MTA as we move forward on this project that we believe will spur economic development in this corridor of the city and connect people to jobs, to entertainment, and to all of life's opportunities. North Avenue, as you know, plays a vital role in Baltimore is one of the longest uninterrupted east-west roadways connecting neighborhoods and institutions across the city. In fact, North Avenue carries the MTA's second busiest bus route, the number 13 line. We transport nearly 4 million people every year on this road on our transit service. That's a lot of people, and it's one of the few streets in Baltimore with both a light rail and a metro subway station. And this $10 million Tiger Grant is the final piece of the $27 million North Avenue Rising project as part of Governor Hogan's transformative Baltimore Link Transit Improvement Plan. Our MTA team, led by our able planning director, Kevin Quinn, combined with the work of the Baltimore City Department of Transportation, has worked tirelessly together on this Tiger Grant application to ensure we got the federal funding to improve conditions for walking, bicycling, and riding transit along this historic road. Here's the grant. The grant complements, we get a $10 million grant from the federal government, the Tiger Grant, and that complements the $14.7 million that Pete Ron and the Maryland Department of Transportation put up to help fund this. We also got $1 million from Baltimore City and $1.6 million from US DOT's Federal Highway Administration. We've got some representatives from them here as well. Thank you so much, guys, for being here with us on this day. And as Secretary Ron will explain in his comments in just a moment, this project will strengthen the economic development efforts in this corridor and fortify communities in Baltimore by enhancing the quality of life through better transit. In working on this Tiger Grant, the MTA received 52 letters of support for North Avenue Rising, including 19 letters from community organizations right here. We've got them listed on a board back there. Some of those supporters are here with us today, and I want to thank them for their commitment to transit and to the communities that will be served along this road. The North Avenue Rising will include a number of multimodal investments. There will be improvements to sidewalks, to crosswalks, focused on pedestrian safety, improved lighting, and newly planted trees to line and beautify the streets. These streetscaping improvements are guided by the West North Avenue Streetscape Conceptual Master Plan, along with input from community members, and will focus on commercial segments of North Avenue and areas of high pedestrian activity. Also, investments in key bus stop improvements along North Avenue will provide our MTA customers with more comfortable connections with our transit system. Our partners at the City DOT will repave and reconstruct parts of the roadway along North Avenue where there are bad pavement conditions. And we'll have those red dedicated bus and bike lanes along the majority of North Avenue that are paired with transit signal priority technology to improve the reliability and speed of our transit services. We'll also have new bike share stations at key locations along Central North Avenue that will integrate with the dedicated bus lanes and the bike boulevard facilities on the streets that run parallel to North Avenue, but it'll be safer for bikers because they have lower traffic speeds. We're also going to have major transit investments coming to our Penn North Metro, one of the first metro stations, to help improve safety, lighting, and cleanliness. MTA will also install new artwork at the mezzanine level of the Penn North Metro station to reflect the strengths of the surrounding community. These are just a few of the exciting things that are in store for the North Avenue corridor, and the MTA is excited to be part of all of it. I look forward to working with you to continue to have Baltimore's transit system be safe, efficient, reliable, and provide world-class customer service. And now I'm excited to introduce the US DOT Undersecretary for Policy, Blair Anderson. Welcome, Blair. Guy looks like a TV star.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everybody. It's a pleasure to be here in the heat with all of you. Thank you, Paul, for that introduction, and thank you to the MTA for putting together this great event today. I'd also like to take a moment to recognize some of Maryland's most tireless leaders who are here with us today, Congressman Cummings, Mayor Rollins Blake. We appreciate everything you guys have done. Today's event marks the beginning of a transformation that's long overdue here in Baltimore's North Avenue corridor. Secretary Fox and the rest of us at DOT recognize the real potential that transportation has in shaping communities around the country. By connecting the people who live in these communities to the resources and opportunities they need to thrive and succeed, we have a real chance to make an impact and create developments that are inclusive. And to do this, we have been focusing some of our efforts on leveraging programs like the Tiger Grant program to help fund the projects that we think have the most economic and safety benefits. In the face of challenges like high unemployment, more than double that of the rest of the city, and high vacancy rates, the community has come together here at North Avenue and stepped up and worked to rebuild. frankly, for us at DOT, that's what Tiger is all about. Since 2009, we have awarded a combined $5.1 billion to 421 projects across America. And during the latest round at Tiger, we received 585 applications and awarded nearly $500 million to 40 recipients. From the beginning, we believed each city had to take inventory of its transportation projects and problems. And when we read the North Avenue Rising proposal, it really stood out because it does just that. Your leaders are innovative in their plan to revitalize the economy and increase mobility of the busy North Avenue corridor. So I'm proud to say and represent DOT here today on awarding the $10 million to this project and to help Baltimore achieve the goal. I thank you all for your commitment to taking action here in Baltimore and partnering with us in getting this grant and this project done. So in the interest of getting somebody else up here in the sun, I'd like to hand this over to Senior Policy Advisor at President Obama's National Economic Council, but more importantly, he's also a Baltimore native, Nate Lowenthal.
Thanks so much, Blair. Morning, everyone. You guys are lucky to be in the shade. As Blair mentioned, I'm Nate Lowenthal. I lead the President's Task Force for Baltimore City. It's really a pleasure to be here today and to speak alongside Congressman Cummings, Mayor Rawlings Blake, my good friend Blair, our colleagues from the Maryland Department of Transportation, Administrator Comfort and Secretary Ron, and also some of the real leaders from Baltimore on transportation issues. We have Annie Hall, who's the president of the Penn North Neighborhood Association. Let's give Annie a round of applause. Thank you for all your work, Annie. As well as Brian O'Malley, who is a real leader on transportation issues here in Baltimore. And Leon Pinkett as well, I think is here somewhere, who's just recently won the Democratic primary city council election for this neighborhood and will be doing a great job, I'm sure, representing this area in years to come. It's really also an honor to be here at Coppin State. This is a neighborhood that's very close to my heart. I grew up in Baltimore, as Blair said, and I went to synagogue just about a mile from here at Beth Am. And so I was down in this neighborhood 2 or 3 times a week for Hebrew school and for worship. And my mom worked downtown, so I'd hang out in the area while she finished work to come pick me up. And as a kid spending time in the area, I got really interested in the neighborhood and its history. And you can see that history in the architecture, in the streets, and when you talk to people who grew up here, like Annie, who's lived here for 60 years, I think. And you have to see the North Avenue Rising project as one more chapter in a long, proud history for North Avenue, not just a one-off, but another step along a long road. The Maryland Transportation team may know this, but in 1890, 130 years ago, North Avenue was home to Baltimore's very first streetcar line, which was one of the earliest streetcars in America. And that streetcar line ran for almost 50 years. And it helped spawn a whole network of streetcars around the city, which really helped to bind together early Baltimore, connecting the early suburbs with the harbor. And when that streetcar was built, North Avenue was one of the city's busiest streets. Now I think it's 6 lanes, but back then it was 2 lanes. And they were crowded by apartments, by markets, by shops, by theaters. It was a vibrant part of the city, the kind of place that when you see old black and white pictures, you can feel the life coming through those faded photos. And during the first decades of the 20th century, the west side, over here, the Penn North neighborhood, was one of the great African-American cultural centers, not just of Baltimore, Maryland, but really of the country. A place where there was music and entertainment, where the famous African-American leaders from around the country would come and spend time. And growing up, I always wondered what North Avenue looked like, what it felt like, what it sounded like. Hopefully not like that. But what it sounded like decades ago. And I thought about what it would take for North Avenue to bustle again like that. And over the last few years, we've started to see the first glimmers of new activity. With new developments in Station North, for example, around Micah and around Hopkins, that show a new possibility, a new promise for the area. Improving North Avenue is going to be hard work. It's going to take the city, it's going to take the private sector, it's going to take neighborhood associations, and it's going to take anchor institutions like Coppin State. But if it's going to happen, improved transportation is going to be part of the story. As you all can see and know, we don't have that streetcar system anymore. In 1954, it was replaced by a bus line, which the administrator mentioned, bus line Route 13, which is now one of the busiest in the city. But those buses move too slowly, stuck in traffic, competing with cars and with trucks, hitting potholes along the way. That means long commutes for people going back and forth to work or to school. So this project will help speed that traffic up, get people moving faster, getting where they want to go. But North Avenue is more than just a road for commuters. It's one of the city's most important east-west corridors. And so this project's not just about repaving streets or fixing up bus lines, although it is important to do that, and I think that the bus stations will benefit from a makeover. It's about reconnecting this city like those old streetcars used to do. Not just about helping people get to work more quickly, but about creating new job opportunities. The kinds of job opportunities that open up when you create economic investment and when you shorten commute time so people can go further in less time. It's about encouraging private investment and helping North Avenue and the neighborhoods around it grow. And that's the real power of transportation. It's not just about bus lines and bike lines, but about reconnecting this city. And that's why President Obama, from his first day in office, has been so focused on transportation. Our most recent plan, which we put in the president's budget, calls for a new nationwide clean transportation plan that would rebuild and expand transit lines around the country, devolving monies to cities and to city leaders to empower local decision makers, and helping reduce our nation's carbon emissions to tackle climate change. In the meantime, we're using every resource at our disposal, like the Tiger Grant program that Blair talked about, to make investments here and now. As Blair mentioned, North Avenue Rising is one of 41 winning projects around the country out of more than 600 applicants. That means it's in the top 8% of all the projects in the country. But when we saw this project, we knew it was a winner. Too often when the national spotlight comes to Baltimore, it's shining on all the challenges. But today's project is about the opportunities. North Avenue Rising is the kind of project that other cities will look to as a model, that other cities will want to replicate as they work to revitalize historic neighborhoods and build for the future. That's why this project won the Tiger Grant. That's why we're here today. And that's why we'll be working closely with the city and with the state to get this project done. So thank you very much. And now it's my honor to introduce Congressman Cummings, who is one of the greatest leaders for Baltimore City.
Good morning, everyone. Come on, we can do better than that. Good morning. It's certainly my honor to be here this morning. My staff said you're really underdressed. I told them I'm on my way to, I also represent Howard County. And Nate, I want to thank you and the Obama administration for working with us in Howard County to get the SBA out there, giving loans to those people who lost their businesses, getting them back into business. And I really appreciate it from our federal partners. Certainly Governor Hogan has been very instrumental, and County Council Chairman, County Executive Kittleman. So we've all been working together with Senator Mikulski and Senator Cardin and others to try to make sure that we come together to address the problems that are facing our people in Howard County. I'm really honored to be here this morning because this Tiger Grant is so important, and certainly the money that the state is putting into this. But I want you to keep in mind what happened with regard to the Tiger Grant. Stokes, good to see you. The Tiger Grant was originally a part of the Recovery Act. And if you will recall, that's when President Obama came into office. A lot of people were against the Recovery Act, but he forged on with it, and the Tiger Grant became a part of that. Sitting on the transportation, there were a number of us who made a decision that we wanted the Tiger Grants to also be a part of our transportation bill. We wanted to take it over and move it into that area. And so we did. And that's why we're able to have this $10 million today to do all the things that we're going to do to North Avenue. I've often said that Baltimore will be fine. The mayor will tell you that we are one of the top spots for millennials moving in. Businesses are moving in thanks to her great leadership. And so many other things good are happening in our city. The question is never whether, for me, whether Baltimore will do well. The question is whether all of Baltimore will rise together. And I think North Avenue rising is symbolic of what we ought to be about. When I look at the area that I live in, which is only a few blocks from here, and I look at what Micah and Johns Hopkins is doing down there around Charles and North, and then I think about our library, which sits only a few blocks from here, which is one of the greatest library systems, part of a system in the world. And then I think about this area of Coppin. North Avenue is a very important corridor. And with all of the players coming together, the state, the local, and the feds, and with our private folks coming in, and at the same time with our colleges and universities, we can make this 5-mile stretch a great stretch. And transportation is so important. The reason why when I came to Congress, I asked to be on the Transportation Committee is because I knew that transportation is very, very important. Transportation allows people to be able to live. Transportation brings life to life. Transportation took me all the way from Edmondson Village to City College as a student. Took my mother to church, took her from South Baltimore to Guilford and Roland Park to clean people's houses. Transportation is important. And so by doing this and addressing the issues on North Avenue, hopefully we will be able to see buses move faster. People have more efficient and effective ways of getting from one place to another. But just as important, bringing life to life. And as I've said to Administrator Comfort and certainly to Secretary Ron, I want to make sure that we who have cars don't forget about the people who have to take buses. Because there's a huge percentage of the people in our city that need buses and they need transit. And so I'm glad that we are here today, but I don't want us to lose sight of the fact that this is a part of the Obama legacy. So many people don't want to give him credit for anything. But as he leaves office, I want to make it clear that these Tiger grants started because of him, and they continue because of him. And now all of us have to come together as he moves out of the White House to make sure these efforts continue, to bring life to life, to make people's lives easier so that they can live an effective and efficient existence. And so it gives me great pleasure to introduce a man who I've worked with for about a year or so now. And he's been doing a very good job. We don't always agree on everything, but that's not expected. I don't agree with my wife on everything, but I respect him. And he knows we've gone toe-to-toe on a number of issues. But I believe that his heart is right, trying to do the right thing. And Secretary, I want to thank you, and I also want to thank Governor Hogan for all that you have done. Ladies and gentlemen, Secretary Pete Rod.
Thank you, Congressman. That was very generous. I have to tell you what a pleasure it is for me to be here today with the mayor, with Blair and Nate from our capital to bring such good news, to have been working with Greg Merrill, our division administrator at Federal Highways, in coming together to make such a difference for Baltimore. You know, one of the people that had been introduced, but sort of lightly in my mind, is Kevin Quinn. Kevin has been an architect of Baltimore Link, in which we truly are transforming the entire transit system in Baltimore City. And Congressman, I promised you that we would be doing that we were following through, and I can tell you that we are on schedule for the delivery of the entire Baltimore Link project July 1 of 2017. And these are significant changes, and having ridden herd on this project, my biggest concern about Kevin is that he was just recently named one of 40, under 40, in the national recognition for leaders within the transit industry. And the last time that has happened to our two previous people in these positions that received that recognition, they got hired by somebody else. So we are doing an extensive background, Kevin, and we're going to share whatever we can find that's not good with anybody who wants to be hiring you, because we want you right here. So, you know, great time to be out. Today's 110 is the temperature equivalent when you consider temperature and humidity. And the idea is, by putting the speakers in the sun, that the speeches would be shorter. I don't know if that's going to work for everyone else, but I'm keeping mine short because this is hot standing out here. Congressman Cummings was the smart one to come in and dress appropriate for this kind of temperature. So I want you all to know that on behalf of Governor Hogan, thank you for being here today to highlight the much needed improvements to North Avenue and the significant investment that is being made. It's an exciting day for the state of Maryland, the city of Baltimore, and particularly historic North Avenue corridor. We are here to celebrate a revitalization of a 5-mile stretch of North Avenue, an area faced with economic disinvestment and one of the casualties of last year's uprising. Today, with our local and federal partners, we can celebrate the beginning of an efficient, effective transportation plan to improve the lives of many residents in this key transit corridor. I can tell you part of our mission at MDOT is to link people to life's opportunities. And this project is going to support that along with the rest of Baltimore Link. Thanks to the $10 million Tiger Grant added to our state, local, and federal funds, North Avenue Rising will help link residents to jobs and education, bringing economic growth throughout the area. I'd like to thank a few people for their efforts who helped move this through the process. Congressman Elijah Cummings, who has always supported the requests we've had for federal funding of critical transportation grants, and our local partner, Mayor Stephanie Rawlings Blake, who in very difficult financial times committed $1 million to this project, which represents a large commitment from the city of Baltimore, and our local partners throughout the area. Our communities will enjoy the benefits of your labors. Governor Hogan's administration is committed to the improvement of Maryland's transportation network, including public transit projects like this. This grant will help us build Baltimore Link, a major transit plan that Governor Hogan unveiled in October of 2015. We believe North Avenue will prove to be an impressive economic driver for Baltimore and the state of Maryland, an asset making Maryland a better place to live, work, and play. Thanks to the partnership of federal, state, and local officials, we will see North Avenue rise. So it is now my pleasure to introduce Mayor Rawlings Blake to please come forward. And someone must favor you, Mayor, because it's shady at the moment.
Ooh, it's hot. All right. So I'm the closer, and the best thing about being the closer is you've heard everything you need to hear about this project. You heard everything you need to hear about who's responsible for getting us here. Everyone's been acknowledged. Let me just say to all of you, God bless you and thank you. And to my team, Department of Transportation, thank you for being great partners in this grant application. The Obama administration has been super to Baltimore in so many ways. To say that I feel favored just because of the shade that's just one part of it. It's favored because we have a great relationship with a administration that cares about America's cities. So this is great to be here at Coppin, the home of Christina Epps, who is Coppin's first Olympic athlete, who will be competing this week, I believe, in Rio. We didn't get a chance to go, so I'm glad a Coppin student is going, and I just want everyone to know that this project and projects like this that invest in transportation in our critical urban areas are the things that will help our communities grow. The congressman says we can't forget about those that need transportation. We can't forget about those that need a hand up in general. And those that need us as leaders to stand up and be innovative and thoughtful about the way that we use our government resources to create better opportunities for those who need them the most. And that's what this represents to me. So thank you very, very much. I hope we can all get out of this heat. Thank you.
All righty. Well, thank you so much for coming today. This has been a great example of the partnership that exists between local, state, and the federal government in helping to improve the lives of the citizens here in Baltimore and making transit, giving us the opportunity to help lift this city. That's what North Avenue Rising is about. So we're going to ask all the speakers to come up for one quick photo in front of the bus. Thank you so much for being a part of it. We look forward to having you watch us make these progress developments over the next year or two.